Mr. Booth, what is up, man?
We are back.
it
How you
has
doing?
been it has been a while. I'm good, man. I'm good. How have you been, man? How's your winter? Is it cold there in Joplin?
Yeah, real freaking cold, man. It sucks. I can't wait for this crap to get out of here and ready for
I,
spring.
I know. And then I think what is it, Monday? It's supposed to snow some more and then rain all the rest of the week and all that crap.
Yep, winter sucks.
I'm over it too.
I don't. I
Uh,
don't get those people that go around saying, "Oh, I'd rather it be 0 than 100." No, fuck no, man. I'd rather it be 100 anytime. You can, if it's 100 degrees, you can
uh,
jump in the water and cool off. You know.
for sure,
So,
man. For sure. Yeah, I've got my kayak just about rigged up and ready to go for the year, and I just need a decent day to go take it out of the water and see what I'm working with.
yep, that's the thing to do when it's cold and nasty out is just to go through your gear and make a few upgrades for the next season and get ready.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're going to talk about this week. This podcast is what's going on for Moyak in 2024. Um, it's really cool. I think this is my third or fourth year now fishing Moyak, and just in that amount of time, it's like grown like crazy. Really goes to show how much work you're putting into it and all that. And um, I mean, if people don't know or haven't fished Moyak, kind of give us the background story real quick.
Moyak was started back in 2015. I joined that following year in 2016. Won Rookie of the Year, and then the year after that, I won Angler of the Year, and then I kind of just fell into the tournament director role and kind of just took it over from the original owner, and just kind of devoted myself to directing and stopped competing altogether, which I'm starting to really get that itch to get back out in there, man. I see everybody in Moyak having such a good time, and I want to go out there and fish too. So maybe eventually we can get to that point where I can get back out there in the water too and start taking some lunch money myself.
Yeah,
But
man, that would be pretty sweet.
yeah, but it has really grown. We've got a great group of core guys that are real friendly to new anglers coming into the sport. A lot of helpful people out there. We've got it's just a great group of guys.
100%. We talk, here at Eco Fishing Shop, we talk about getting involved, going to a tournament. Moyak is competitive. One of the probably the most competitive series across the nation. But don't let that scare you away. I mean, at any day, any guy, any person, any lady, they could win one of these Moyak events. But the biggest thing is going to check in afterwards, hanging out. um, Josh works really hard on getting sponsors to donate stuff to give away. I was baffled my first year how much stuff you gave away, and it seems like every year it keeps getting better.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good support from a lot of area businesses and some that aren't in the area, but we do have really good relationships with those places, and the anglers love the product, and so it's a win-win situation. It helps out the companies involved, and it helps out Moyak as well. Such a good fit. So hopefully we can keep doing that. The things aren't quite as good as they were 2 or 3 years ago as far as the economy goes. So, but we will still have some product for this year. I've already got several things lined up, and it'll still be pretty cool. We
We're seeing it, on at the kayak shop as well. The companies are changing, they're pivoting, they're doing different stuff. Um, and with that being said, it really comes back to us, you know, being an ROI, being a return on our investment. So, guys, I challenge you guys this year to get after those sponsors and buy stuff from them. Use our discount codes. Josh will have them linked in our members, Facebook page that you can get on there but show them with a value there and make them want to, hey, I want to do stuff with these guys because I may give stuff back, but they're gonna come back harder and support us as well.
absolutely, that's right.
Um, let's talk about what's going on right now. Taney Como tournament was supposed to be last weekend. It's supposed to be today. It's got pushed back. But the winter series, that one's always an interesting one because you never know what to expect. And this year really kind of threw a wrench in it for you, huh?
Yeah, it did. There's nothing I hate to do more than to cancel or reschedule stuff, and I know the anglers don't like it one bit either. But this weather, this Arctic blast that came through, didn't really leave us much of a choice. I mean, yeah, you can go out there and battle the cold, but if the water's frozen solid, you're not you're not going to catch no fish because you can't get to them. So the ice kind of locked us out of there. And one good positive that did come out of that was we now have a definitive outline, a format to where anglers can know when a winter tournament could possibly get changed because of weather. Now we've got it all clearly defined, and so that I don't think it should be an issue going forward. So I'm kind of happy that we do have that definition of what constitutes rescheduling a winter tournament. What is considered too bad of weather. So we've got that now. So I think that's a good thing. So yeah, Taneycomo up on February 17th now. And that ought to be a good time to be there as long as the weather cooperates once again. But you could definitely catch some bigs there that time of the year.
Yeah, so Stockton's actually going to come up next since Taneycomo is rescheduled. That's February 3rd. Stockton's a great place to fish. Hopefully it's not too windy because Stockton seems like it's always on the windier side, and hopefully that weather cooperates. And then it looks like the Winter Series wraps up here in Lake of the Ozarks. But the Winter Series, it's different. You've got to be really dedicated to do that. I know a lot of guys that are fishing it are trying to qualify for the All-American and that stuff. And that's kind of, plays into their decision of fishing these as well. But the Winter Series, it's kind of one of those, like, you're all in. Josh, I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry about that. My dog was going crazy. I had it on mute. I was going to say that, yeah, the Winter Series is also going to qualify for the All American Classic. So guys are, diving in, wanting to get that last, spots to get into that tournament.
Well, let's look forward. What do we got next? The River Series, man. This one's fun. I really like how you've laid it out for the year. Rather than just opening the state, we'll have different regions as well. That first one, of course, will be statewide, so you can fish your favorite stretch of the river. But you've got to bring it down.
Yeah, we do this. The statewide is going to be the first one, and that's basically because it's still springtime, and there's a good chance that some rivers are going to be flooded. So if we got statewide, you can go find some water that should be safe and floatable.
Yep, and then right after that, we'll head to the eastern region, and it's anything east of Highway 63.
Yep.
The cool thing about the River Series is a lot of guys plan on floating and shuttling each other. Even if they're not in that area, they may fish with somebody that's in that area and be able to shuttle and whatnot. Stop number 3, the central region. So it's kind of east of Highway 65 and west of 63. I feel like a lot of guys end up on the James River for that one.
Yeah, the James, and I think part of the Gasconade might even be in there too. But yeah, it's a pretty popular spot there. It's a good stretch. It's a good place to float and catch some good fish too.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like I think last year I remember guys talking to the guy that won it was on the James, but I'm not 100% on that either. So I'm not calling anybody spots out or whatever. So,
Right.
And then we'll go back to the Eastern to wrap up the stops, and then we'll go back to the Elk River watershed for the championship.
Yep. Then we doubled up on the east, and the reason behind that is that's where all the best water is. Honestly, there's a lot of great rivers out there and a lot of options to choose from. So, back in the western region, that's everything that's west of 65, and that's there's not a whole lot of options. I live in this area. I grew up on these rivers. I know them all really well, and they're great for wading. There's just not a lot of access points, and they're not cleared out as well. You could run into log jams and all kinds of obstacles. But the Elk River is a nice one. It's a great place to fish. There's a lot of great smallmouth down there. And so I think that'll be, since we're going to have the championship in one location, that's why we're going to do it down there on the Elk and Big Sugar.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I didn't put dates on these ones, but the cool thing about like our series is you can go to Tourney X. We actually have, if you like on the menu, Barton, there's a club tab. If you click on that club tab, it's under Moyak, under Missouri. And Josh has everything divided up by each series. So I think there's 8 of them now between all the series that we do. But you can select just the River Series. And if you want to sign up for those, you can see those dates, information there. The other thing, too, is you guys can always go to moyakfishingseries.com. That's got our entire schedule. Troy Inke does an amazing job on our website. And AOI stuff, stats. I think you can even like create your own little profile on there and show different stuff like that too. But I know there's not dates on this one, but you guys can get all that information there from Tourney X or our website, Moyak Fishing Series.
Right, and the River Series format is going to be Angler of the Year is going to be determined by your best 3 out of the 4 regular trail stops, and then the championship will be added to that. So you'll get to drop one of your lowest scores on the River Series, and the championship will count for points.
So is the championship similar to like our solo series where you've got to fish so many events to participate in the championship, or is the River Series more like open to anybody on the championship side?
It's still open. Everyone's welcome to come and fish it. But if you're competing for those Angler of the Year points, then you're going to need the best 3 out of 4, and then you'll need to be at that championship to win Angler of the Year. And I believe Keats Real Estate is once again going to sponsor the series. So I don't know if we're going to give away a kayak again to the Angler of the Year, but we'll probably have something pretty cool set in store for the Angler of the Year crown for the River Series.
I believe, was it Tyler Coakley won the River Series AOI last year? Is that right?
Might be, yeah. And he got a kayak, so
he did. Yeah, Josh actually came through us, and he ended up with a Jackson Bite, which is it's tough to beat that kayak on the river for a paddle kayak.
Right, that is a great one for being on the creeks and rivers and floating around here in southern Missouri.
Well, if you guys are river rats and want to get back to your roots and like to paddle, the River Series is a great place to start. Get going on that. Maybe you'll
also find... Go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to add that there is the team side of the River Series too. So if you want to get together with a buddy and shuttle each other, you can float together and team up as well.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Yeah, find you a shuttle buddy. Find you someone. There's also shuttle services around too. So maybe you find someone that'll, if you can't find a teammate or whatever, you can sign up for the team side. But you can use those shuttle services as well if need be to fish this series and not have to paddle upstream or anything like that.
Yeah, it's always best to go with a friend. For sure. And it's a good idea to always shuttle on these events too. Because I mean, if you're going solo, I get you could go upstream as far as you could, then float back down to your vehicle, but you're kind of limiting yourself on the water that you could fish. And of course, that in this series that does have that one special unique rule to where you can wade fish and get out of your kayak and portage, if you want to go upstream. So you can get out and tow your kayak behind you if you want to walk upstream, but you got to get back in it to take the photos of the fish. And that's all within the rules that are on the website too, and on Tourney X as well.
Good stuff, man. All right. Well, let's look at our solo trail series and our team trail. So like it says, you can fish these individually or you can buddy up with a team member and fish these. We got the Taney 20 coming up. Josh, how do people get in the Taney 20?
The Taney 20 is a very special tournament. It is invite only for the top 20 anglers from the previous season. So the Taney 20 is going to consist of the top 20 anglers from 2023 in the Angler of the Year race. And that is sponsored by Crocagator and Eco Fishing Shop. And so there's no entry fee involved. These 20 anglers get in there for free, and they're going to compete for, last year we paid out $1,000. So, you get a chance to win some good money with no entry fee. And, that's also, we're going to start doing our annual first meet and greet kind of event of the year for new anglers, maybe that want to sit down and talk with some experienced anglers and learn how the series works, or come and talk with me. We're going to do a barbecue there at Rockaway Beach. So while the 20 anglers are out there competing on the water, we're going to have a little shindig going on there at the boat ramp. So everyone's welcome, friends, family. If you're just curious about the sport or you just want to come check out some cool kayaks, this will be the event to come to. You're going to see, some of the best kayak rigs out there, some really creative ones too. So this is open to everybody. We want to see everybody at the Taney 20. So yeah, that's March 23rd, and we'll have some food and drinks provided as well.
It's always a fun event. It's really cool that we've set it up as an invite only kind of deal. It really gives you know, at the end of the year, I knew I wasn't going to win AOI, but I was still plugging away because I could make the Taney 20. It's a pretty cool event. I really hope it's blown out again this year. Fishing was really good last year when that water was muddy and nasty.
Yeah, she can be fickle. Taney Como is very fickle. She'll give or she'll take, but I've had some really great days on the water there. So that should be a fun one. If you're cooperating, we could see 100-inch bag caught easily.
Oh, for sure. For sure,
Mm-hmm.
man. So if you just getting into it or want to meet up, come to the Taney 20. I wouldn't show up at launch time, but come there. There'll be people hanging out and whatnot. If you got some old fishing tackle and stuff you want to get rid of or trade or sell, maybe bring that too, and maybe get rid of that stuff. But always a good time to get together and just shoot the stuff and hang out.
Yeah, we'll probably plan on doing it like say 2 to 5-ish, somewhere in that area. But I'll be staying there at the resort all weekend anyway, so everyone's welcome to come and just hang out if they want to. So should be a fun time, I think, and it gives us a chance to get together, break bread, talk. It's been all winter since we've gotten back together. Everybody's itching to get back to the fight for the titles and the competition. And like you were saying, it is a really competitive group of guys, but friendly at the same time. And I also want to throw in there too, I was thinking about it earlier. We paid out to 75 different anglers last year in Moyak. Over $55,000 was paid out, and 75 different people won money. That stat just blows my mind. Whenever I saw that, I'm like, 75 different people won money, and not a single person repeated as a champion. So someone different always wins, and you never know who it's going to be. So yeah, it's competitive and it's fun, but it's not dominated by someone, Chad and Lance's and those Dormans. There are some dominant anglers, but they're not dominating every year, every season, every tournament. It's always somebody different. So don't be intimidated by that. You can actually learn a lot from some of those guys and become a better angler yourself for it.
For sure. And when I first started, everyone was, super nice, super, it was always nice to ask somebody, say, hey, how did you really catch them? When people just, flat out tell you, they may not give you the color, size and everything, but they're going to tell you, how their day went, talk about it. And I mean, those are, maybe it's not even about fishing. Maybe it's about their kayak setup or different stuff like that. But it's always cool to meet up and typically walk away with something too. So, well, let's look at the trail series this year. Stop one early. Seems like we always go to Lake of the Ozarks either early in the year or later in the year, just being a busy lake and whatnot. But last year was later, and then this year it's going to be earlier. What do you think of Lake of the Ozarks in the spring?
I think it has some potential for some bigs to be caught for real, because I snuck this in there right before the Big Bass Bashes all got there too, and all the big boat tournaments came in. So we should get like the first pickings, so to speak, and shouldn't be too much boat traffic. That's why we always put Lake of the Ozarks and Table Rock generally, either at the end or the end of the season, so we don't have to deal with all the crazy boat traffic and stuff. So yeah, that should be a good time. I'm curious to see what the scores are going to be. That's also going to coincide with the All-American Kayak Series tournament that's kicking off there on Lake of the Ozarks too. So anglers can double dip if they really want to take a chance at winning some big money.
Right after that, we head up to Truman Lake, as Joe and I like to call it is Stump City. Truman's always fun. There's so much different water in there. You can get skinny, you can fish main lake, you can fish clear water up by the dam. But there's a couple. It's like docks for Lake of the Ozark with stumps and standing timber and all that. But Truman, we've seen some big bags there at Truman, man.
Yeah, it's got the all-time record. Jim, he pulled 100 inches out of there in a live tournament a couple years back, so it has that potential. And it was right around the same time of year. This is also another event where anglers can double dip because we're going to be there for the Classic. The All American Classic is going to be going on. So it'll be a cool one to be at. If you don't want to miss this one, because our awards are going to be there, in the Civic Center. There's going to be hundreds of anglers there. We've got some cool things in the works for the Classic. So even if you didn't qualify for the Classic, you can still attend because we're going to be there on Truman at the same time. So hopefully that works out good for some of the guys.
Yep. Off to Stockton Lake after that one. Stockton's always fun because you can get into some smallmouth, largemouth Kentucky. Stockton is not as big as Truman or Lake of the Ozarks, but there's some good fishing in there. I always enjoy there because I can you can get into smallmouth and when you least expect it and find some big ones there.
Yep, it's a nice lake to fish. It's not known for being full of giant bass, but it is still a fun lake to fish, and the boat traffic's not so bad there. About the only thing you got to worry about on Stockton is the wind speed, because the wind, a little breeze just seems to amplify on that lake, and it always comes from a different direction. You think you can get a wind block, and then it turns around and it's blowing right in your face again. It's like it always moves. So the wind on Stockton is something to definitely watch out for if you ain't been there before.
Yeah, you're better off running into a sailboat than you are a pontoon boat or something like that. That place gets crazy.
Yeah.
So Table Rock, you've kind of changed it up this year, and maybe give us a little more context and kind of what your thought process was there. But it's the Upper White River. It's going to be in June. What do you got going on there?
Well, we wanted to try and go a little bit further into the season with Table Rock. But without getting too crazy with boat traffic. And at the same time, Table Rock is a big, big lake. And if you're fishing one end and the awards is at the other end, it may take you 2 hours to get there, at least, So trying to find a more centralized located awards so that anglers can make the award ceremony without having to get off the water early. So there's not a lot of fancy venues in that area, but we split the lake up in half. It also puts us on the end of the lake that I don't think a lot of people fish usually. I think a lot of the regular people that fish Table Rock a lot with us with Moyak, they usually stay around the James River arm or the dam area. And I don't think a lot of people go that far. And one of the reasons is because the award ceremony is always at Branson. And so that's a long drive to go, from the Kings River or, all the way down, near the Arkansas border on the White. It can take a while to get there. So we're not going to have the award ceremony there. So we're going to split the lake in half. It's going to be everything west of basically the James River arm. I think the access point there might be Joe Bald, might be one of the closest places to where the border is going to be. I'd have to look at a map to be sure, but I haven't got the awards location quite figured out yet for that one because we are moving into new territory. But yeah, we're just going to be on the different section of Table Rock. So hopefully that works out good. And it's a beautiful part of the lake too. And a chance to catch some good fish right there at the beginning of June. That could be prime time to be just coming off the beds.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. It seemed like maybe not this last year, but I think the last 2 years we fished it when it was, flooded crazy. That was during the spawn as well. So it seemed like fish were a lot deeper than they should have been because they already started spawning and different stuff like that. But Table Rock always, seems to produce some decent bags. Seems like it's always our biggest event too. Seems like we draw guys from Arkansas and all that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be good to see. Hopefully it's a change for the better. Hopefully, guys like it. It makes it more convenient. Definitely, I've been down to fish Cricket Creek for a tournament down there, and it's like you got to plan for an hour, 2 hour drive, and then plus loading up and all that crap. So it'll be good to get people closer, and make it more convenient for everybody.
Yeah, and something a little different. So we're just not constantly doing the same thing year after year. I always try to vary things up a little bit so it's just not repetitive, and it's always a little bit different each season. So it's a little something different for this year.
I like it, man. Stop number 5. This one's going to be interesting. I've been listening to the lives with the Kayak Angler series, Kayak Adventure series, excuse me. This is going to be a Poplar Bluff Roadrunner. Last year we fished Wapapello. I did not like Wapapello, Josh, and it's no big deal, no hard feelings, but
I don't think anybody did.
This will be interesting because it really opens up a lot more water than just Wapapella Lake.
Yeah, this is a big area. It includes all the rivers, all the lakes around there, Clearwater, Duck Creek. Excuse me. I don't have the list in front of me, but it is a bunch of area where anglers can choose from, and it is going to be at the same time as the Kayak Adventure Series, so guys can double dip. Theirs is going to be on a Friday and Saturday, so I think their day one is Friday. But we're going to have our award ceremony in the nice, fancy theater there with them. They were gracious enough to extend the invitation for that, so we're big shout out and thanks to the Kayak Adventure Series. It's going to be a fun one for sure, and it should be quite a few people pop in that area.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see where guys end up and what they focus on, if it's the lake or if it's rivers, or what their plan's going to be. I know Troy mentioned last year at one of the events when we had our check-in that Drew Gregory, he puts on a show whenever he does some tournaments. What was the series called that he used to run or help out with?
Yeah, the River Bassin Series. They were like a national river tournament series, and I fished in it too. And it was incredible. It's very well ran, very well organized, and I expect nothing less from these. I do have the list here in front of me now. It's going to be Wapapello. You can fish Wapapello, Clearwater Lake, Duck Creek Conservation Area, Mingo Creek and Wildlife Refuge. Then you've got the Current River, the Black River, St. Francis River, the Castor River, Hubble Creek. I think there's even down into Arkansas is still in bounds on some of these rivers. So basically, you can just if I was fishing, I'd be fishing one of them rivers. I'd be doing a big float. But yeah, that's going to be fun. So basically, we're going to be doing the same thing. So Moyak's going to basically, I guess, we're going to have a river tournament just like the old days.
That's cool. This week they will Kayak Adventure Series. They'll have a live stream actually talking about this event. So if you want more information on there, you can get on there and get on their Instagram or YouTube or whatever. They typically have some local guys that come on there as well, kind of talk about the event, what to expect. It's just kind of a preview for that. But I'll give you a ton of information specifically on the Kayak Adventure Series. But all that will line up with Moyak for that event.
Yep, I'll be on there with them too on that podcast. So
nice. And then right after that, Palm Me de Terre.
Potato Lake.
I think everybody ends up on the river, up the river on this one. It seems like I went to one ramp and I was just like, is the entire field here, or is this just a one launch kind of? But it seems like guys are all over the place. I know last year I missed the event and I was kind of glad that I did because it got wild.
Yeah, some guys got made famous. That was a wicked storm that rolled in on everybody, caught everybody off guard, and a huge, massive hailstorm. If you haven't seen the video clips from that, I even had one of the producers from MTV give me a phone call wanting to know who the owner of one of those videos was because they want to put it on Ridiculousness on TV and wanted to get permission to air it because they couldn't believe how crazy it was that kayaker got caught in that hailstorm. So I think that was Lance Irwin, I think is who had that video. But yeah, it's going to be on TV somewhere eventually. So that was something.
I saw that clip and I was like, oh my goodness. And, everybody talked about their trucks and hail damage and this, that, and the other. And I think the insurance paid out, more money than, anybody, but it was wild. And like I said, I was fortunate that I missed it. I probably would have been in the wrong spot at the wrong time, but I guess I wasn't. But should be a good lake. It's always a tough one to fish, but it's like Stockton. It's a smaller lake. They've been having some really good fishing. Last year they talked about having some big bags coming out of there on the bass boat side. So hopefully we can get in there and figure something out. August should be hopefully, maybe decent weather, but we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too hot. One good thing about Palmy for this year, though, is we've got a new location for the awards that's going to have good internet access and cell service. I finally found a spot. Thanks to Lance Burris. He's told me where to look, and it works, and it's going to be awesome. We're still putting that together. That's not finalized yet, but yeah, it's looking great. We're finally going to have some decent Wi-Fi service at the awards ceremony for Palm de Terre. So there'll be a place where you can upload your photos because that's a really bad lake for cell service reception.
Yeah, I don't know which one's worse, Palmy or Truman, but they're both they're on the struggle bus as far as cell service. I remember, I had driving around trying to figure out where I could submit fish because I couldn't do it on the water, but should be a good event. Right after that, we're going down to Bull Shoals. Um, on the Tourney X, you put Missouri in parentheses. What's going on with there?
We're going back to old school. That's the way Moyak used to be back in the day when we didn't go into Arkansas. So we're just going to fish the Missouri side of Bull Shoals. And there's enough water there, I think, for everybody to spread out. And, generally numbers deteriorate towards the end of the season once, bow season starts and hunting season's going on. So it should be enough water. We'll see. That's my only concern, is that it might get everybody fishing at the same area. But like I said, trying something different. And once again, Bull Shoals is a gigantic lake. And so, if guys are fishing, way down in Arkansas and then coming back up to Missouri to make the awards, sometimes you miss the ferry or something, and that it's a pain in the butt. So once again, we're just trying to get it to where everybody's not so far away from the awards location. So, yep, we'll do Missouri waters only.
Even, with last year having our check-in at, was it Forsyth? Or where did we have it last year, our check-in?
Yeah, it's all a blur, man.
What is it called? It's the one right there by the bridge, almost to Branson.
Oh, they're at Shadow Rock Park. Was that
so, it? Even fishing the Missouri side, you can still be an hour and a half from there. So it's not like you've, really cut off a ton of the lake. There's still plenty of water there that you can get into and fish. So it'd definitely be interesting to see guys' strategy. I don't know how many guys go fish on the southern end. I know I have in the past. I know this year I stayed on the Missouri side, but I couldn't figure anything out. So I just went somewhere I've been before and hope for the best. And, I saw Chad there and I was like, yes. And then it slowly changed. So
I think a lot of the guys were fishing the Missouri side anyway. And, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but, like I said, we'll learn from it. And if it sucks, we won't do it again. So that's all I got to say about that.
And then the Missouri Championship, going back to Table Rock Lake yet again.
The crown jewel.
All the hecklers are going to give you a hard time.
I know.
Why not go here? Why not go there? On a Table Rock.
Because it's the best lake we got. That's why. This is going to start rotating. We're going to put it on a rotating basis from now on. So this will be here on Table Rock this year, but it won't be on Table Rock next year. And the championship that's going to be a little bit different for the championship this year is we're going to allow in the top 50 in Angler of the Year points into the championship free with no entry fee.
What?
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's
awesome. I got it worked out to where we're going to be pulling out. I think it's $5 per entry fee throughout the season is going to be dumped into the pot for the championship. So we're going to build up that pot, and then it should balance itself out to where you can pay really good. It's like a little stepped up version of the Taney 20, and it's going to be just for those guys only too. So.
That's cool. It seems like numbers really drop off for that event, which is kind of unfortunate because, it is a championship. Last year was cool because Old Town was a part and they gave away a kayak, and who knows what they're going to do this year with sponsorship or whatnot. But
yeah, they're not going to be involved this year. Unfortunately, they made some cutbacks on their marketing departments and they're not doing anything this year. Maybe next year for the following season, they said, but like I said, man, there's a lot of companies right now that are having to make some changes, and that's one of them.
Yeah. But still, you still had a bunch of stuff given away. It's really cool seeing what guys have won throughout the year. Chris Robbs winning online AOI, honoring the River Series AOI guy. I'm assuming we may do some midweek Yakpot and Sunday Series AOI too, maybe just, give them a little love.
But we're still working on that.
Well, but even then, like just the overall AOI for the year and all that stuff, it's really cool to get together and but hopefully we can get that event where it's like a must go to event for this series.
Yeah, that's where we're really trying to work on the championship and build it up and make it something special for the anglers, and something that they really want to look forward to getting to and qualifying for, getting in free. You may see yourself not winning AOI, or maybe even you don't get in the top 20 for the Taney 20, but you can keep grinding and get in that top 50 spot. You can go fish in the championship. And, like you said, it is kind of our end of the year award ceremony. We honor all the champions from the may not have gotten their awards yet. That's why we have, the online series end in September, and all that stuff ends before this tournament. That way we can present everybody with their awards while everybody's together one last time before everybody runs off to the deer woods. So yeah, that's always going to be a fun event too. I'm going to keep trying to build it. So the first step of that is making the top 50 get in with no entry fee, and we'll start padding that pot throughout the year and see how much money we can pay out.
Sounds good to me. AOY, best 5 events, right?
Yes, sir. Best five out of 7, and the championships, no points. It's just going to be a standalone championship for Moyak only this year. So it's been like an open event before. We're gonna stop that and make it a little more prestigious to get into with that top 50. So, yep.
So top 50, top 20 gets you to teeny 20. And then number 1 gets you AOY, just stuff to work for throughout the year. So you get 2 drops, which is nice because 7 events, it's tough sometimes, with life going on and different stuff like that. But you've got that option if you want to chase after that. The AOY.
Yep, you don't have to make every tournament. You only need to hit 5. You got at the end of, after Bull Shoals, your lowest 2 scores are going to drop off. And so you're just going to be left with your best 5, and that's going to determine your final 2024 ranking.
That's cool. A couple other things you've added by popular demand, a couple different series or whatever you want to call them. Midweek yak pots. Again, all these, I didn't put all these dates in here or go through this, but all those are listed on Tourney X. It's under midweek yak pot. Is it basically they can fish whatever lake is on the schedule? Is that how that's going?
Yep, it'll be like an online thing, no in-person meetup. You don't have to hustle and get off the water and make the awards or anything. It's just going to be something fun for guys to do in the middle of the week in the evening that just want to get out and fish for a few hours. It's only going to be for 4 hours. They're going to run from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and you only got to catch 4 fish. So just go out there, and it's just a way to – there'll be every Wednesday or every other Wednesday pretty much. So there'll be 2 a month. I have to look at the calendar to see for sure, but
yeah, I think there was either 10 or 11. So I think there's quite a few to choose from, different dates, which is really cool because it's nice because it's like the online events, you can really put time in and do that. And it's definitely commitment to, get into, a check and whatnot. But with the midweek, it's kind of like in between that online and that live event, which is really good because you can really practice a live event because you've got 4 hours to do that. It's not a full day of fishing. So, maybe you're getting into it and don't want to do the onlines because there's some good guys in there and not really, can't do Saturdays or something like that. You can do those midweek yak pots, fish your local lakes, and have a good time with it.
Yeah, anybody can sign up and fish, and we'll, the winners will be paid by PayPal. The money will be sent out to them, and like I said, it's just another chance opportunity for guys to get out on their own time. And I'm also kind of interested to see how the data is going to show the lakes compared to each other, because guys are going to be fishing on different bodies of water. Like you said, you can fish any lake that's on the current schedule. So some guys may be fishing on the Lake of the Ozarks while some guys are down on Table Rock and some are on Truman. It'll be interesting to see what the differences in those scores are. So that'll be fun to see as well.
I'm curious to see if we get some guys drawn out, down southeast in that Boot Hill area there. They're like, hey, we can fish Wapapello and fish these midweek ones. And, it'd be cool to see some guys come out of there winning some, cutting some checks and whatnot.
Yeah. So that Poplar Bluff Roadrunner leaves quite a big area of water for guys to fish for the weekly yak pots too. So yeah, could even do a night river float. I guess it wouldn't be dark in the summertime. So
that'd be pretty fun.
That would be a good time, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm excited about this one. I know we had talked about it because the whole Jackson series or whatever, and I think there's a miscommunication on my part. But I'm glad that you're doing a Sunday series as well. I think, honestly, with Jackson doing it, I thought it was a great idea to have Sunday events. Me personally, I have Sundays and Mondays off. And so, I don't have to ask for a day off of work or anything like that to fish this. It's also a live event. So it's not, you don't have a whole month. It's an event that you can go to and do. But the Sunday ones, I'm excited about.
Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback about guys that are really wanting to get out there on the water on Sundays, and it's going to be less boat traffic on Sundays. And we've got it split up into two different divisions. We've got the White River division and the Osage River division. So those guys are going to be competing, and we've got an Angler of the Year race going on with the Sunday series as well, with each region going and coming into a championship, and that's all on Tourney X as well. All the details on that. And yeah, it should be fun because we're going to rotate. And if you're wanting to just fish, say the White River division, that tournament series is just going to rotate between Table Rock, Taneycomo, and Bull Shoals. So if you live down there, you're not going to have to drive very far to get to your event. Likewise with the White River, if guys live up there by Clinton or Camdenton, or you're not going to have to drive very far to get to Lake of the Ozarks or Palm de Terre, or Stockton, Truman. So tried to make it to where guys could get to it easily, and it's an all-day event too, so you can fish in the time frame you want. If you can't get on the water until after you get out of church, you can still have time after church to get on the water launch, and you still have time to go out and catch your fish. And so
yeah, so I think if I'm looking at this right, some of these events start at 6 a.m. but they don't end till 7 p.m. Is that right?
They'll end at 6 p.m. I think, but there's an hour for photo submission time.
Nice.
That's what Tourney X shows. Tourney X, when it has an end time on Tourney X, it's going to be what the photo submission deadline is on their times. That's how it works there.
Yeah, I remember that because the Big Bass 250, everyone's freaking out because they couldn't submit fish, and I was like, crap.
Yeah. I like John. Just add another hour. It's okay.
Easy, buddy. Easy. Second tournament. Okay, I'm doing the best I can. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not as cool as Joshua Booth.
Easy fix.
We'll get it figured out. But no, Sunday events, I think it's cool. Like you said, if someone's got a half day, 5 hours, whatever, maybe they're on fish and they're like on a good afternoon bite, still get out there and do an event, do a live event, and maybe win some cash money.
Yeah, and I imagine there will be several guys that are going to grind it out from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. too. Yeah, just fish all day long.
For sure, man. For sure. So plenty of options. Midweek Jackpot, online, River Series, Sunday circuits, solo trail series. We got the winter series going on right now, which you can still get a part of. And still, how many events is on the winter series? Is 3 for AOI?
Yeah, it's your best 3 out of 4 for AOI.
So someone can jump in there. Yeah, they can jump in right now and fish those. And then, of course, we got the team side on the river and the trail series. So plenty of options.
Also in February, we're going to start kicking off the Big Bass Bounty. We're going to do that again. We're going to have, that's going to run from February all the way through September, and one fish is going to pay $1,000, so whoever catches the biggest bass of the year. So then that's any public water in Missouri is allowed. So everybody's going to need to start signing up for that, because it's going to start in February 1st, and that's coming up.
February 1st. Get signed up for that.
Yeah, you don't want to get out on the water and catch a monster like a certain person that I know whose name rhymes with Miss Bob's, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this tournament. I just would have won it all if I would have just been signed up. So don't miss out on this one. Sign up, even if you can't get on the water for a couple months. It's going to run all through this summer. So get signed up. The registration deadline is February 1st.
Good stuff, man. A lot of stuff going on this year. You've got your hands full with a lot of judging events. How about this? Maybe on the Sunday series, I'll help you out with those, and you can go fish them, or the midweek Jackpot. Just let me know if you need any help, and get you back on the water. Like, scratch that itch.
Yeah, the Sundays and the Jackpots are right up my alley. I can just go whenever I feel like it. That sounds pretty good.
I'm telling you, man. I'll help you out, brother. You need some help? Let me know.
I appreciate it.
I'll sit out on those, but a lot of stuff going on. Sponsors, I'm going to get sponsor stuff up on here, guys, but like we had mentioned, Josh will be adding you once you're a member, which we'll talk about that in a second. Once you're a member, we'll get you into the members private lounge. It's not what you think it is. It's not crazy, but it'll get you in there, get you some discount codes and whatnot for our sponsors. But invest in them like they are with us. But yeah, it's time to get signed up. How many? I think you said what, 65, something like that. Some guys signed up right now.
Yeah, I think we're over 60 right now, and so we're still got a few can sign up to get in on that first 100. It's going to get some special discounts from Crocagator and Council Bluff Crankbaits. That was a huge deal right there. Still going to get some decals, and I'm still working on some other swag that we'll get to. Just kind of depends on how quick guys sign up, because that's the budget that I use for all this stuff to get it. So your membership money pretty much just comes right back to you in the long run.
Yeah, shout out to Chad with Council Bluffs crankbaits and all that. He was at the Let's Go Fishing show up in what was it, St. Louis area. I went by there. He had a ton of stuff, of custom painted stuff there for sale. February 10th here in Camdenton. If maybe you're not close to St. Louis, there's a fishing expo, and it's at the Christian Community Church. Eco Fishing Shop will be there too, February 10th from 9 to 2. He'll be there as well. He's got some really cool stuff, and it's cool to send off a bait and get painted, which I was fortunate to win 2 of those this year. But it's really cool to see all he's doing, because he's not just doing big swim baits, or what he's doing a bunch of stuff, and it's all custom, hand painted, really cool looking stuff. Super excited that he was part of it last year. Excited that he's going to be on this year too. But if you not sure what he does or what he's got going on, come to that show. He'll have all that stuff set up. Super nice guy. I showed up and I was like, hey, and he's like, hey, Jonathan. I was like, that's me, so it's really cool seeing all this stuff. Wild how much stuff he has available.
Yeah, he's a great supporter of Moyak, and a great guy and great company too. I mean, his product is top of the line. I don't think I've ever seen any better hand painted baits by anybody, and a lot of people do it. But yeah, and he's also, he's giving away a free painted bait to the winner each monthly online tournament. So if you win an online, you're going to get a painted bait from him too. He's also doing something for the big bass bounty. So if you happen to catch that biggest bass, you're going to like what you get from him too. So big shout out to Council Bluff Crankbaits and Chad. Thanks for your support of Moyak. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I think what we should do is showcase each sponsor maybe on each one of these podcasts and give them a shout out, tell them thank you, but also tell them what they've got going on, what they're doing for us. I think that what we talked about two podcasts a month, do maybe a preview and a post show on around each event, and then we can talk about the entire series, all that throughout the year, and talk about where guys stand in AOY and all that stuff. But looking forward to getting back on this and doing this with you, Josh.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I'm ready to get things kicked off, and this is the first one we're doing, so we're just going to build on it, and we're going to keep growing.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys want to talk about, hear about. Hopefully we can do like we did in the past and get some, maybe guides or local area guys that are fishing these bodies of water, do a preview on each event, and then hopefully get some winners on here, talk to them about their fishing and how it went for them. But just Moyak doing big things, trying to get it going, trying to get everybody together. I'm excited, man.
I am too, man. It's time cannot go quick enough. Let's go.
Yeah.
I wish it was March already. Really, I do.
Yeah. Well, Josh, you got anything else before we get out of here?
I think that's about it. Like I said, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and go through it and see if there's any questions we need to answered. And like you said, we're going to get this going. So this is just the beginning. We're bringing the podcast back. Feel like it's a good tool for getting information out to you guys. We're going to be bringing on some sponsors to go to, showcase their product and what they can do and talk about it. So that's going to give some good exposure for them as well.
For sure, man. It'll be here before we know it. So can't wait to see you guys out. Maybe the Tanny 20, maybe our first event. But Moyak Fishing Series podcast is back, and let's get after it. Let's have some fun this year. 2024, it's going to be a great year. But seriously, get on here, talk about what you guys want to hear about, questions, anything, whatever. Josh or I will reply, or you can always send us a message directly. But let's go 2024. That's all I got, man.
I'm good too, man. That's it. Let's do this.
All right. See you guys.